Alright, so guys, in today's video, I'll be covering every fighting style in the game for you. But real quick, at 50 subscribers, I'll be doing a permanent ice giveaway. Also, first, just saying I will not be using combat is now that it is unobtainable since I've gotten all the other fighting styles and I cannot switch back to it. So, let's get into this. Alright, so the first fighting style we got on this list is Dark Step. So, let's take a look at this one. So, alright, let's just test it out. Alright, so first we got Flying Kick. It's alright, I'd say. I guess it's alright. Alright, so now we got Break Dance. That kind of just stuns you, and I think it will just, like, send your enemies, like, in a tornado or something like that. Alright, so now we got Barrage. It's kind of like Rubber C move. I mean, it's alright, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so this one is alright. It's called Overheat. It just makes your moves, like, do more damage or something. And you have, like, burning effects on your legs, so it's pretty good, I say. No! Alright, so sorry about that. So overall, this is like a D- or something. I don't really like this fighting style. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so now we got Electric. This one looks nice. Alright, so the first move is Stomp. I think you, like, grab your enemy upwards and then you just fling them down. So I guess that's pretty good. Now we got Electrical Tackle. That could be a combo, I guess. Alright, so now we got Electrical 4. This kind of looks like the thing I see in the raids whenever I try to get Fragment. Alright, so overall, this fighting style is also not that good. I'll just put it in, like, D or something. I don't know. Alright, so now we got Water Kung Fu. This also looks pretty nice. I like it. Alright, so the first move is kind of like... that just would, like, fling your enemies where that is going or whatever. Alright, so the next move is Deadly Shower. Kind of like a gun, I guess. Alright, so now we got Heavy Water Punch. Alright. That looked okay. I would give this like a C or something. It's not the best, to be honest. Alright, so now we are moving on to the second C fighting styles and third C. So this is Dragon Breath. I don't think this picture looks that cool, to be honest. So this first one is called Dragon Rush. What the flip was that? That looks so outdated. No offense. Alright, so now we got Dragon Flames. Yeah, that sounds like a sound effect from Raids 2. Now we got Dragon Explosion. Yeah, I feel like this fighting style needs a rework. Alright, so overall, this is like a C-. I just don't like this one, to be honest. Alright, so now we're moving on to Superhuman. Alright, so that looks kind of cool. Alright, so our first move is Beast Owl Pounce. This also needs a rework. Alright, so now we got Thunderclap. Kind of like an AoE thingy. And now we got Conqueror Gun. What? Okay. Alright, so overall, I rank this as like a C+ or something. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Alright, so now we have Dark Step V2, which is also known as Death Step. This one also looks cooler, too. Alright, so the first move is called Rocket Kick. Oh. That was okay. Now we got Wind Bullet. That's nice. Now we got Vermilion Drill. Yeah, it reminds me of Rubber for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, so now we have Maximum Overheat. It's like the same thing as Dark Step, so I don't really need to explain too much about it. Alright, so overall, this fighting style is like a B or something like that. I don't know. Also, real quick, I'm going to roll a fruit so I can waste some of my money. Ooh, sandwich fruit, not bad. Yeah. Mine looks so. Alright, so now we're moving on to my favorite fighting style, which is Electric Claw. And it looks pretty nice, I guess. And so, the first one is called Electric Rampage. Oh, it's not that bad. That was pretty okay. Alright, so next we got Lightning Thrust. So, it's also not that bad. Alright, so now we got Thunderclap in Flash. So, oh dang, that's pretty nice. Also, I'm excited for this fighting style too because in one of the recent bulletins, there's a leak of it, like maybe a hint of it being reworked soon. So I don't know. Alright, so next we have Water Kung Fu V2, or as known as Sharkman Karate. So let's test this out. Alright, so the first move is called 12 Water Palms. That's nice. So now the next move is called Pressure Vortex. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. Also, I heard it like traps them in a bubble if you like aim it on a target, so it's not that bad, I guess. Alright, and the last move is called Great Sea Spear. That's pretty cool. It reminds me of Blade. Alright, so overall these moves are kind of good. Yeah, I'd say it's like kind of like an A or, no, low A or high B. So let's move into the next fighting style. Alright, so this is another fighting style I also like. So it's called Dragon Talon. It's Dragon Breath of V2. So let's test this out. Alright, so the first move is called Talon Lighter. Let's test this out. Not that bad. So the second move is called Ember Annihilation. Kind of like Routed Dragon if you upgrade it or something, I don't know. And the last move is called Infernal Vortex, so you can kind of hold it if you upgrade it, but if you let go, you slam down into the ground. I like this fighting style, so, yeah, not that bad. Oh my gosh, Electric Claw's getting me, oh crap. You saw nothing, guys. Alright, so now we're moving on to God Human. Now, this one also looks pretty cool. I like it. Alright, so its first move is called Soaring Beast. Nice. That's pretty cool. Next, we have Heaven and Earth. Pretty cool, too. I like that. Now we have Sixth Realm Gun. It goes farther than that. I'm just not moving my mouse because I'm too lazy to, and I'm holding out my phone. Overall, this fighting style is an A+ because it's insane at PvP. I don't know why, I just don't use it a lot. Alright, so the last fighting style we have on this list is Sanguine Arts. One of my favorites too, like my third favorite. Let's get into this one. Alright, so its first move is called Bloodbane Drain. That's pretty nice, I like it. It's supposed to like, give you HP if you attack an opponent with it, but other than that, it's pretty cool. Now we have Scarlet Tear. I guess that was cool too. The last one, we have Devourer of Worlds. So, oh dang. Guys, please leave me alone. Alright, so overall, this fighting style is like an A+ or something. There's not too much to talk about it, but there's also, the reason is because it's just too OP, bro. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Also, I need to get my dog real quick. Like and subscribe or he will eat you.